Hi everyone, this is Kijani and welcome to my 10 questions video. I want to thank all of you who submitted questions for this. It's been a while since I've had some new content on my YouTube channel and I'm very excited to do this. So how this is going to work is I've chosen 5 of the questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 to answer myself, and then I put all of the other random questions that I did not pick into this bag on these cards here. So I'm going to put them all in the bag, and then my trusty assistant is going to draw out one by one until we get 5 of them. Then we'll make 10 total. We're going to alternate back and forth, so we'll have questions that I chose and then ask a question that one of you submitted that I didn't pick. So let's get started. All right, here's the first question. It'll be one of the ones that I chose, and my trusty assistant, Chaos Rain, will read it.
Teeko Husky asks, how did you join the furry fandom?
How did I join the furry fandom? Well, thank you for your question, Teeko. So like a lot of lion furs, I actually got started in the furry fandom through the Lion King fandom. And how I got involved in that was actually, I was in college in an English class, and I had to rewatch The Lion King to write an essay about Disney ideologies. And when I watched it as an adult, it was weird because it hit me differently than when I watched it as a kid. I really connected with the character of Simba and everything about the movie. I loved it so much. I really became obsessed with it. And I was wondering, I wonder if there's other people in the world just like me that are just crazy about Lion King. And it turns out there was. There's a huge Lion King fandom community out there. And while I was involved in that, I heard some of them were in the furry fandom, and I didn't know what it was at the time, so I said I wasn't a furry. However, fast forward until about 2008 or so it's about 16 years ago, I decided to revisit this furry thing. And I went on YouTube and I watched this video of some fursuiters in London going out and making people smile and just bringing so much joy to others in their fursuit costumes of their own Fursonas, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, like mind blown. I just wanted to do that so bad. So that was really how I got started in the furry fandom, was through fursuiting. And even right when I joined the fandom, I actually commissioned a fursuit that very day. It was my Kijani 1.0. So that's the short story of how I did it. Somewhere along the way, I kind of got involved in My love for Lion King kind of evolved into a love for African lions as animals. I love them so much, and I'm sure I'll be talking about that in one of the future questions. But that was kind of the story, and here we are. Chaos Rain, come over here, pick one out of the bag, and we'll see who the lucky question is. There's a lot of them in there, and he's got big paws. Kind of tough. All right.
Gutex asks, what is your favorite video game?
Oh, video game. I love video games. So Gutex, my favorite video game, actually, it goes way back to when I was a young cub. I grew up on the Mario franchise. I love Mario games. Platforming is my specialty, so along those lines, I was mostly a PlayStation player growing up, so I love the Crash Bandicoot series, for instance. So I'd have to say, pretty much all of the Mario games, the newer ones. I love Wonder. I just started playing that. It's so different and fresh. But I love the retro games as well, and I'm actually the arcade record holder for Super Mario Versus, which is kind of a more difficult version of Super Mario Brothers for the NES. So I'm very proud of that. I worked really hard to get that. But I love the Mario series. But nowadays, I really got into Elder Scrolls, starting with Skyrim. I played thousands and thousands of hours of that game. It's so ingenious. It was really my first RPG game that I really ever played and got into. And from there, I'm playing Elder Scrolls Online a lot now. So those two, and I also love kart racing games, Mario Kart. Big favorite of mine. And also the new Disney Speedstorm. I'm totally addicted to that right now. It's basically Mario Kart with Disney characters, and being a big Disney fan, I can't get enough of that game. So those are probably my favorites right now. Okay, question number 3 is going to be another one of my questions that I chose. Let's hear it.
Joshua Brown asks, how was your trip to Kenya?
Oh, my trip to Kenya. So for those of you that didn't hear about this, just before the COVID pandemic really hit in early 2020, I took a trip to Kenya. Lifelong dream, bucket list goal of mine. I actually went with my friend Kitwana Lion. So we landed in Nairobi, Kenya, the capital, and then basically we did a 6-day safari through the Masai Mara Game Reserve, and then up to Amboseli National Park, which was in the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro, and then also we went to Lake Nakuru. And the whole experience was just unbelievable. It was kind of a budget safari, so we didn't really stay in super nice hotels. Like, in fact, the first few nights we stayed in like a tented camp, basically, with very basic necessities. But just to experience that part of the world, meet people that, you know, it is a third world country, so people that are getting by and they're just so happy with minimal things. It's just a different experience, different world. To see those animals, just to go out through the Masai Mara, because you watch it on Animal Planet and Discovery Channel, but to be there and see all those beautiful sunsets, nature in its purest form, and of course, you know, the lions and the big cats. We saw a bunch of those on our safaris. It was just absolutely a dream come true. For example, in Amboseli, they're known for their elephants. You would see just herds of elephants that walk like 100 miles every day. It's crazy, just crossing the road right in front of you, like you're not even there. So it's really something I would love to do again, maybe a different part of Africa, but I highly recommend, if you've never been on an African safari, just do it. You will never ever forget that experience. All right, we're on question 4, and that means it's our second drawn question from the random bag of questions. So my trusty assistant will once again pick a question from the bag. And again, these are the ones that, all the ones outside of the 5 that were not chosen by me. All right, what is it?
Brady asks, will you be in Pittsburgh for the Anthrocon convention?
Oh, very simple question. Brady, I will be there. I'm assuming you wrote this question because you're going to be there as well. And I'm very excited about it. Anthrocon is just a great convention. I have never seen a city that hosts a convention just pour their heart out to the furries like Pittsburgh does. It's unbelievable. For those of you that haven't been to Pittsburgh for Anthrocon, just the Fursuit parade itself is amazing. People like line the streets, not people from the con, just people from Pittsburgh that want to see all the amazing wearable works of art, all the fursuits to come out, and they love it. The city loves it. It's a great convention. So much quality programming, very well run. And I will never miss that convention. My first one was in 2010, and I've been every single year except one since then. And I've also been on staff since 2011 as a publications editor. Now it's print and digital media, but I've also been writing blogs for the website, which is anthrocon.org. If it's your first time to a convention, there's some very helpful tips in those blogs that I wrote, so check those out. But yes, I will be in Pittsburgh in around the 4th of July holiday. So really looking forward to it, and I'll see you there, Brady. Okay, we're on question number 5, and that means this is the third question of the ones that I handpicked myself, and I'll let my trusty assistant read it.
Eclipse asks, when did you first get into game shows, and what's your favorite one?
Oh, Eclipse, my fellow gaming and gambling cat. He loves game shows as well, so this is a great question. This is an interesting story. So when I was very young, I was a young cub, maybe 4 or even 5 years old, my father would record Wheel of Fortune just so I could learn like words and vocabulary. He thought, oh, this is kind of an educational thing. So from there, I really loved Wheel of Fortune. I would watch it like every night. He would videotape it on VHS for me, and pretty soon, I found out that I could solve the puzzles way before the contestants were. I was like, whoa, I'm actually decent at this. So that's the first game show I really got into. Around that time, Jeopardy as well, but the questions were way over my head. But I've loved game shows ever since I was a kid. I've hosted, even before I joined the furry fandom, I was actually the host of a couple different net game shows. One was Who Wants to Be King of the Pride Lands, which was basically Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but all Lion King themed questions. I had players from all over the world. I also did Net Press Your Luck for a while, and that's probably my favorite game show. I know that was part of your question. I love Press Your Luck, the original one on CBS back in the 80s, and we reran for a while, and the new one with Elizabeth Banks is just, wow, it's just blowing through the roof as far as excitement and prizes and stuff. So I really love Press Your Luck is my favorite, but Wheel of Fortune, I was on Wheel of Fortune back in 2004. Dream come true for me, and now I host game shows at conventions to give other furries the opportunity to feel what it's like to be on a game show, because I've been lucky enough to have that experience, and I love everything about game shows. So. And remember, if I don't pick your question, either in the ones I picked or from the bag, I will still answer it via the method that you sent it. So don't worry about that. I'll answer every question sent to me. Go ahead.
Tio Drohan asks, since you're a Lion King fan, which sequel do you prefer? Lion King 2 or Lion King 1.5?
Oh, I knew I'd get a Lion King question in here. Okay, so Tio, thank you very much for your question. This is a great one. So obviously, being a fan of The Lion King, I've seen all the movies, and out of those two, I greatly prefer Lion King to Simba's Pride. Now, I know it was a direct-to-video, but it's a very strong story, especially because it goes into characters further into the canon, like, Kovu, and the music is great. The music is amazing. It's got some really good songs. It's got He Lives in You, which was from the Broadway show. Was used in the Broadway show, excuse me. And it's just, it's really good voice acting. It's one of the better Disney sequels ever made, in my opinion. I've even heard some people say that they like it even more than the original Lion King. I don't quite like it that much, but it's a great movie. Lion King 1.5, it is what it is. It's kind of like, it's one of those in-between quills, I think is what it's called. And just, it serves a purpose. It's very comical because it's very centered on Timon and Pumbaa. Which is great. It goes into kind of Simba's history, but some parts of it just really rub me the wrong way. Like, for example, during Circle of Life, the animals bow not out of respect for their new king, but it's because Pumbaa passed gas. That just doesn't really sit right with me. It is a very good movie. You get to see Simba as an adolescent, which is cool. But out of those two, I greatly prefer Lion King to Simba's Pride. It's an awesome Disney sequel.
Hearz asks, what is one of your favorite memories while fursuiting?
Oh, Hearz, my fellow lion, a question very near and dear to my heart. This is a tough one because I've been fursuiting for quite a while now, and there's so many memories that I've been fortunate enough to create. But there's a couple that really stand out. One of them was actually from quite a long time ago, probably in the first couple years I was fursuiting. So I went around the holidays to fursuit with a bunch of friends at Pike Place Market, which is one of the big tourist destinations in downtown Seattle, right on the water there, where they throw the fish and stuff. So we were all going out, and then there was this family that kind of was unsure that if they wanted to take a picture with us, so we kind of coerced them, and they were interacting with us. And when we were taking the photo with the kids, one of the kids looked up at us and said, I quote this, "You're really animals, right?" And I was like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. And then the mom played along and was like, right, they are. And then she was like, whoa.
You're really animals, right?
Yeah. And we just saw Simba's Pride, didn't we? Yeah.
It was one of those moments that you never forget when you're fursuiting. To have that magic of, what I call the magic of fursuiting, to be able to create that illusion that you are a walking, talking animal, stuffed animal come to life, basically, as your character. That is one of the really, really cool things. Other great memories I've had is I've been fortunate enough to fursuit at several charity events, and there's been some mascots there, like Blitz, the mascot for our hometown Seattle Seahawks, is a fantastic mascot. Probably, in my opinion, the best one in the NFL. I'm a little bit biased, but we got to fursuit alongside him at a Komen event. Let's see, we've done, I also want to say, fursuiting at Anthrocon during the Fursuit Parade is an unbelievable experience too. I touched on that a little bit earlier. The first time I got to experience that was just unlike anything else you'll find in the fandom as far as public interaction. And just alongside those moments that you can create that magic, I also really, really love and appreciate any moment where I'm in fursuit at a convention or anywhere else and someone stops me and says, your videos have helped me either start fursuiting, find the fandom, anything like that. I've been creating videos since way before YouTube exploded in the furry fandom. It's so great to see how big it's grown now, but the fact that I was able to create something that helped someone along the way means absolutely the world to me. So those are my absolute favorite moments when I'm fursuiting. Okay, we're on question number 8, which means we have 2 more questions left to be drawn from the bag, and Chaos will draw one of them. And let's see which one it is. There's some great questions in here. All right.
Kitwana asks, what is your favorite mascot?
Kitwana, my fellow lion friend, he's a huge mascot fan, so I know he's anticipating the answer to this one. So there's a lot of great mascots. I really like Blitz, the Seattle Seahawks mascot. Very energetic, does a lot of charity work. He's a great performer, but I think he knows the answer to this one. The absolute my favorite mascot in all the world is Leo the Lion from the Saitama Seibu Lions, a baseball team in Japan. He's a white lion, so energetic. He dances unbelievable. He does backflips. He's just a crowd favorite and one of the most. He's just amazing. You got to watch some videos of him online. But yeah, definitely my favorite. There's some other great ones like Benny the Bull in the NBA. He does acrobatic dunks and stuff in suit. It's just, I think a great mascot has that appeal, the crowd appeal. They're very energetic, they're great with people, and they can do some amazing things that no one else can even dream of doing. And I think those ones are definitely top of my list.
Fuzzpaws asks, if you hadn't been lion chosen, what would your Fursona be?
Fuzzpaws, I love that term, lion chosen. So, interesting story. So I grew up with, my ancestry is half Chinese, and I was actually born in the year of the tiger in the Chinese zodiac. So when I was young, my mom, who is the Chinese side of my family, surrounded me with tiger stuff. She called me her little tiger cub. I had tiger plushes. Everything was tiger. So the easy answer for this one was I would definitely be another big cat and probably a tiger if I had not been lion chosen. I love all big cats, leopards, even cheetahs. They're just such fascinating animals, and I can't imagine myself as anything other than a big cat. Tigers would definitely be the one because of my background and my love for big cats. If I had chose anything but a lion, it would be a tiger. All right, we're at question number 10. This is the last one. So we have one more question we're going to draw out of this bag, and Chaos will come over here and draw it and read it. And remember, if I don't pick your question, either from the bag or from the original 5 questions that I chose, I will still answer it via the method that you sent it. So you will get an answer to your question, I promise. Okay, last question. Let's see what it is. All right.
Ben asks, how did you come up with the name Kijani for your lion Sona?
Oh, that's a great question. So Ben, how I chose the name Kijani, so I've always been fascinated with African origin names. There's a lot of them in The Lion King, for example. That's how I got my start in the fandom. So I went through a list of birth names in Swahili, and I was like, I wanted to pick one that really represented what I wanted my character to be. So Kijani, as a birth name, actually means warrior. So I thought that's really cool because like warriors are strong and they can basically persevere or fight their way through anything life throws at you. And that's kind of what the character I wanted to have for myself. I wanted to be able to overcome any obstacles thrown my way. So that's why I chose Kijani. Now Kijani also means the color green in Swahili as just a word, but and I've been told that many times by people from Kenya and stuff, but Kijani as a birth name means warrior, and I think that's a really good archetype for my character in my Sona, so that's why I picked it. Alright, so that's it. That was the 10 questions. Again, thank you all so much for submitting your thoughtful questions. They were so much fun to answer. Hope you learned a little bit about myself, about fursuiting, and anything you wanted to know. I'll definitely be doing this again sometime in the future, so if you didn't get picked this time, think of some more questions. and I'll answer all the ones that didn't get picked for this video through the method that you sent them. And until then, I will see you guys all later. I'll be at Anthrocon very shortly in Pittsburgh, and other cons too later in the year. BLFC is one of them, so hopefully we'll see you there. And until then, be good to yourself and others. Bye-bye.